In this video, we're going to be talking about our rent-to-own program and the first steps you can take to be able to buy your rent-to-own home. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde, and welcome to the #1 community for real estate, income, and credit. So if you'd like to know more about our rent-to-own program, where we teach you how to find rent-to-own homes in your area, how to find off-market homes with no competition, how to find bigger homes, how to find more affordable homes, and the first steps to take in the process, make sure you watch the video to the end and leave a comment below if you need help with anything. So I'm sharing with you a clip from our rent-to-own program, which is a 30-part series where we teach you exactly how to find rent-to-own homes in your area. We show you how to find these properties where there's no competition, so you don't have to worry about multiple offers and actually losing properties to other bidders. In addition to that, we actually show you and we give you all the tools that are necessary to not only find the properties, but also how to take you through the process from day one to be able to qualify to be able to purchase the property. Oftentimes, most people who go into rent-to-own properties fail at buying the properties because of lack of strategy and being a part of a very good rent-to-own program. So we want to make sure that you're successful from day one. So we show you what to do from the first day that you move into the property. So this program actually is all inclusive. It's a DIY rent-to-own program where we actually show you from A to Z, everything that you need to know from finding the property to sourcing the property to actually what you do when you actually get into the property, how to actually have best practices when you're a rent-to-own tenant buyer, how to actually position yourself so that you're going to be purchasing the property at the end of the agreement. We show you actually how to negotiate the contract. We also show you what a contract looks like, a filled out contract. We show you exactly how to position yourself so you're safe and you're not taken advantage of and you're in a win-win situation. We also show you the different types of financing that's available for you to be able to purchase the property at the end. So we touch on this in this clip that I'm going to share with you, and I actually like to invite you to join our rent-to-own program by simply going to my website AskRinde.com, clicking on rent-to-own and getting started today. As we've seen with all the changes in the real estate market, supply chains, and the cost of goods and cost of living going up, you're going to see more people renting to own, simply because more people are not only going to be consolidating, but it's a better savings. They're not actually in the position to be able to purchase the property. And this program is perfect for those of you who do not have perfect credit, but you're looking to move into a home now. It's also for those of you who've lost out to bidding wars and still need a house for rent, or still need to move into a property that you can rent to own. So we share hours of content with you and a link to over 10,000 available homes that you can actually contact for rent to own. So without further ado, here's a clip from our rent to own program.
To be successful at the end of your rent to own agreement, whether that's 1, 2, or 3 years, you need to be a part of a good rent to own program. Our rent to own program is an accountability program where we help keep you on track towards buying the property and actually purchasing it at the end of your rent to own agreement. So many buyer tenants fail because they're not a part of a good rent-to-own program. And so having the right rent-to-own program will help you reorganize and reconfigure if you hit a reset during your rent-to-own tenure, leading up to the end of your rent-to-own agreement. For the most part, we provide you with DIY tools that you're going to need to be successful. And for those of you who need a little bit more of a hands-on approach, we'll be there for you and we'll show you how you can get that help at the end of this training. So our rent-to-own program is a DIY process that you can actually do at your own pace. Now, from day one, the first thing that you want to do is to start to monitor your credit. It's very important for you to know what the status of your credit is, because how can you actually repair your credit? How can you build yourself up in your credit if you don't know what's on your credit, if you don't know what's hindering you, if you don't know what's holding you back? So you need to basically get an idea. First, get a copy of your credit report and start to get a handle on what's happening with your credit. What exactly is going on? Things that you actually can control and things that are outside of your control, or things that are outside of the statute of limitation that can then be removed. These are things that you can only know by starting to monitor your credit. So to do this, we actually have a website you can go to, and it is smartcredit.com/AskRinde. You can actually use my link to be able to start that process of monitoring your credit. And that is the first step you're going to take in our rent-to-own program. And this is a big step because this is actually going to determine what our next steps are going to be for you in the program. As I've shared, we have a DIY process. So based on what you're finding, you're seeing, once you've actually started to monitor your credit, we'll actually be able to make recommendations to you of what steps to take regarding addressing what you're seeing on your report. The one important thing to note is that credit is time sensitive. So it's important that we start early so we're well ahead of the game. Because remember, with rent-to-own agreements, you can actually buy the property sooner than later. If you're able to exercise the option to purchase the property and you can buy it before the 2-year mark, then that's great. You have home ownership earlier than later. But you want to make sure that you follow what we're going to lay out for you in the rent-to-own program and the DIY process so that you are actually ahead of the game. You don't want to wait until you're 1.5 years into the agreement and you have a 2-year rent-to-own agreement and then you're starting 6 months towards your purchase because you don't know if the owner will be agreeable on re-upping the agreement or extending the agreement. So you want to take advantage of starting early and set on a trajectory and a track to start repairing your credit and also start to basically follow the steps and the guidelines that we're going to lay out for you in our rent-to-own program to help you along the way. So again, you're in the property, you've done your rent-to-own, now you're starting to actually now from day one prepare yourself so that you can actually be in a position from a credit perspective to be able to buy and acquire the property. Now there's other forms of financing aside from institutional loans. You can actually get hard money and also private money. And we have sources for both of those inside the AskRinde Academy. You can actually find those by going to our resource area at AskRinde.com. And you can see all the private money and hard money sources that we have inside the Academy that have various terms that they'll offer you based on how much they're lending you. In some cases, depending on the property and the terms, it may be favorable to go the private money and the hard money route, depending on the repayment schedule that they're going to give you. So these are all the options that you have to basically acquire the property at the end of your rent-to-own agreement. But our rent-to-own program has a very helpful process and tools that you can use in order to be able to build up your credit and expand your credit even outside of your personal credit.
So we look forward to seeing you inside our rent-to-own program. You can actually join our rent-to-own program by going to my website, AskRinde.com, clicking on rent-to-own, and getting started today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me. My email address is AskRindeNetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.